America has fallen into darkness. America has fallen into ego. Darkness is ego, and ego is darkness. Many members in Congress, many people in the government, they call themselves Christians. Excuse me. And these people, they're not really living like true Christians. They're not really living how Jesus said to live. Jesus taught forgiveness, right? Jesus taught to love one another unconditionally. Jesus taught unity. Jesus warned against falling in ego. Jesus warned against falling into darkness. The ego, negative ego, the negative aspects of ego, succumbing the ego, these are all, succumbing the ego, that is succumbing to darkness, which is the opposite, literally the very opposite of what Jesus taught. And that is what America has fallen into in many ways. What many of these people in the government officials who call themselves Christian have succumbed to. They've succumbed to the ego. You know, Mike Johnson, Nancy Mace, Paulina Luna, I'm sorry, I forgot her name. And many of these other people, they call for killing, death penalties for people who break the certain laws, right? They call for war. They've literally went against the War Powers Resolution. That's not forgiveness. That's not peace. That's not love. That's not unity. That's ego. That's ego. These people, they're so caught up in their hate, their darkness, that they can't see, or maybe they can see in some instances, some of these people, but they can't bring themselves to live like how Jesus really said to live. That's not being a true Christian. I was reflecting on why I've been so just on edge and pain and suffering lately, right? You guys have, if you've watched my last video where I say I'm fighting for a world I'm fighting for a world that hates me. I've been trying to figure out the deeper things that have been holding me back and have been making it easier for me to plummet into such a level of pain and suffering. And one of the things I realized was that I have my outer purpose, right? Which is to heal the world, to wake people up in profound ways to the truth, to where they can really start to see the change and the healing that the world needs, and I want to empower them and impact them viscerally to where you guys can embody that change, embody that healing, to look at yourselves and go, oh, like I know what I need to do. I know what I see now. I see like the issues, the core issues. I see what needs to be done, and to kind of like come into that change, to kind of be the change, and to become inspirited and acting on that change. You know, wake the world up, empower people to just evolve us, advance us, and make us a better people, a better species, right? That's my outer world. I mean, that's my outer purpose, right? But my inner purpose, and I'm not Christian, right? I'm not really like traditional religious. I don't follow traditional religion. But there are truths to the Bible, I feel. And one of those truths are that are like when Jesus talks about inner riches, right? I'm realizing that the inner riches, the inner temple, like entering the temple of heaven, your body is the temple. When you take care of your temple, you take care, you're basically, that's like walking into the gates of heaven, right? When you take care of yourself, because you are a God, you are like connected to God. When you take care of your body, your vessel, yourself, your mind, you love yourself, you forgive yourself, you're opening the inner riches, and you're walking into the temple, you're walking into to heaven, and you're opening heaven's gates, and from there everything comes from there, right? Everything starts from within, from your inner self, from within. And my inner purpose is living that, is letting myself connect with my inner riches, with myself, and putting in. And one of the things that I realize as well is that you have to prioritize things, right? In order to be successful, it's much more important to get like $10,000, for example, than to pick up pennies on the floor. Like, what's more of a priority? Like, get a little more of the money you need, or health. Like, if you have like a health checkup, it's much more important to do that, put that first, than say, I don't know, like pluck your eyebrows or something because you have something in your whatever. You know what I'm trying to say though? Like, priorities are crucial, and you have to put the important things first. And I realize my inner purpose, if everything starts from within, then the inner purpose, that's a priority. That comes first. And so I realized a lot of my suffering is the result of just misweighing and misprioritizing. I've been putting my outer purpose before my inner purpose in a lot of ways, in certain specific ways that I shouldn't be. I shouldn't be doing that. And I now see that this is something I already knew, right? As like, cause I've been really like consistent and focused on doing what I need to do, despite everything I'm carrying, right? PTSD, extreme PTSD, healing from past trauma, depression. I've got a lot of stuff I'm working on due to like just the abuse I've undergone and the trauma and the traumatic experiences. But I've been doing what I needed to do anyways, despite all those things. And I have been working on myself and really like putting myself first in a lot of ways. But I realize I have the window open and someone smoking, can't stand cigarettes, so I'm gonna just close that real fast. And even though I've been working on myself though, I realize I'm trying to work on my outer purpose so much, right? That like I'm realizing there are times where I mistakenly like I put it first. And it's like you can't, the expression, you can't pour from an empty cup. Like I'm never gonna be able to fulfill my outer purpose how I need to properly, and I'm never gonna do it properly without being on point with myself first and foremost. Always coming back to my center, to my inner riches. And so that was a revelation I had, and that's like I need to prioritize myself first. You can't pour from an empty cup. Like ground myself in the inner temple, in the inner riches. Cause when I'm cool with myself, when I'm like boom like that with myself, looking at myself in the eyes and being grounded, knowing who I am, I can extend that to other people, and now I have a cup that I can share with other people, that and allow other people to take a sip from that cup. And so that the inner riches analogy, right? Like everything starts from within, from yourself, and then you go from there. That's what Jesus taught, and I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's something that I took away from bits and pieces of Jesus's teachings, and at least personally. And America, I realize, as I'm working on myself, as I'm learning these things, coming to terms with them, piecing everything together, organizing my mind, organizing my trauma, putting all the pieces together in a cohesive manner to where I can differentiate what was what over here that was hurting me, what's over there that's like a different thing, that's separate from the other thing, and just knowing how to like put things in the right order, place things in the right order, categorize things correctly and orderly. I realize that we struggle with this as a country. We struggle with this as a country. We a lot of us, we're not putting ourselves first and in a balanced way, connected to unity at least. A lot of us are either putting ourselves first selfishly, ignoring the necessity to love one another like Jesus taught, or we're succumbing to ego, And ego, that's not the inner riches. Ego tries to take you away from yourself. And ego is the thing that like makes you think it's all about the outer purpose. First and foremost, above yourself, above God, right? And oh, you have to like be the best, make the biggest legacy, be the coolest person in the world, whatever, like in a way where it's like, you did it and you're the best, they gonna build statues of you, whatever. But all of that stuff is important. It does play a role. Can't come here to leave a mark in the world. But who we are above that and beyond that is we are first and foremost remnants of God, of the universe. And all of that flows within us. All of that exists within. The core of our creation stems from within our minds, from within our hearts. We look into our own eyes in order to feel contentment. And when we can look within into our eyes and smile, that's when we can look into other people's eyes. That's when we can look at other people. That's when we can look into other people, smile, and fulfill our outer purpose. And so yeah, that's all been kind of piecing together for me. And just as I've been kind of coming back into my inner riches, myself, I'm being reminded that, and I see more clearly where the world struggles with it. And I've said this before, but my rise is your rise. When I make it, I want to bring you guys with me. You know, be the change, as I've said in like my videos 10 years ago, 2015, 2016. And not just that, but I said in my recent video, all these things that I went through, dealing with narcissists, dealing with dark triad individuals, sick people, that I realize now that all of those things, I went through those things. I battled those people. I went through those experiences so that I could have the means of overcoming them as an adult systemically. Like all those types of people that I battled as a kid, they're a part of the reason why the world is so messed up right now. And they're the same types of people who really very much are poisoning our world, poisoning us, each other, and really, you know, like destroying the world, making it a very toxic place. If we're going to heal the world, we need to overcome these people. And I now see that my role, everything I went through, was so that I could overcome those people as a man, systemically, having the means to do it because I battled those people as a kid and I survived. And in the process of exposing these people, overcoming them as an adult systemically on that grander level, going back to my purpose, my outer purpose, I am able to do that. I'm able to show people how to overcome those people and wake other people up to what I learned about these people so that they can see that these people are the cause to our suffering, and they can be empowered the way I've come to become empowered. As I'm rising up and realizing and overcoming these people, realizing these things, overcoming these people, I see now that it's my job to help you guys see it and to help you guys overcome it. And that's what I came here for. And that's why I went through those things. But the only way I'm going to be able to fulfill my outer purpose, to heal the world, to help you guys become aware of these problems, to become aware of these people, to overcome them, to learn how to overcome them, to learn how to deal with them, to spot them, to become aware of them, and to protect yourselves from them. The only way to do that is by first taking care of myself, coming back to those inner riches. And the core of the self has to be not a place of ego, like these corrupt members in Congress who call themselves Christians, who don't forgive, who don't follow the teachings of Jesus because they're in that ego. No, it can't be from a place of ego, from a place of because that's not love. That's not love. That's not your inner. That's the disconnection of love. That's the separation of everything, of everyone. It's separation. It's not unity. It's hate. It's not love. It's resentment, not forgiveness. And the ego makes you think, oh no, trust me, I know what I'm talking about. Like, this is love. You are a Christian, you're doing it. Da 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 da. Because the ego is cunning. And one of the things I've said about the ego, I'll backtracking real fast, inner riches. I can't fulfill my outer purpose if I'm not connected to God, the universe. Love, inner riches, myself, putting myself first, but from that place of having other people in mind, unity. And we all need to do that. We all need to come back to our inner riches. That's what I'm trying to say. And my nose is a little stuffy, which is why I'm like that. So we need to, when it comes to fulfilling our purpose in this life, we need to remember that love comes first. Not the ego. Not separation. Unity. Connection. And I was going to say something about separation. I guess it was, if I can't remember it, I guess it wasn't that important. But yeah, basically that's it. Oh yeah, I use an analogy where I say ego equals Devo, aka devil, right? Like, to me, if you're gonna look at it, now I'm not Christian. I don't really, but I'm an artist, right? And I'm a poet, and I like to paint things creatively. I'm a storyteller. And so, if you're gonna look at it, and Christians will especially relate with this, but you don't have to be Christian, but it's just a story. If you're gonna look at it biblically, like from a Christian lens, from a God, devil, Jesus, Antichrist lens, whatever, you could very much say, in my opinion, negative ego is like that's like Satan. That's like Satan's like means of grasping you. And when we fall into the negative ego, that's like getting hooked by the devil. Because once you fall into the ego, fall into, oh, me, like I'm doing everything right because that's how I want it. And you, it's like, oh, like, make the world a better place for me. And it's not about other people. Separation, not unity. Like, you it's like it's easy, what you think is love becomes hate, because you can't love when you're doing things just for yourself, right? You can't, there's no true unity in helping other people when you're doing things from a place of separation. And ego, when negative ego is separation. There is no true connection, because the core of it is self, and only self, and mainly for self. And, oh, my, this is my, my ideologies, this is what I think, and yeah, that person thinks what they think, but I know this is how it is, and this is how it has to be. And you get self-absorbed, you get stuck in inward, like, but not inward like inner riches, but inward like inner convolution, inner confusion, disillusionment. You fall into the inner illusions. And that right there, that is not connection enriches, but disconnection. And inner, I guess, for lack of better words, inner absence. That's darkness. Darkness is the absence of light, right? It's not that darkness is this thing that is like this physical thing against the light. All darkness is just where their light isn't. It's literally like there's light, God, boom, inner riches, love. When you don't have those things, you fall into darkness. You're taking the light out, or rather, you're rejecting it, and that's what darkness is. It's the rejection of light. It's the absence of it. It's the disconnection of it. And that's what I feel that America has plummeted to. We've gotten so caught up in our egos. We have gotten so caught up in our way of thinking and in our way of living, being self-absorbed. Don't get me wrong, it's not, in every single circumstance, like, oh, like, me, like, we were, I know a lot of us are just battling and struggling with ourselves, and you get so caught up struggling with yourself, it's hard to kind of, again, going back to the in the riches thing, how can you pour from an empty cup? Like, a lot of us are so busy healing from the trauma that, like, these sick people in the other sick people in their egos have like done to us, these things that they've harmed us, done to us, and how they've harmed us, that it's like we're so busy getting caught up trying to heal and work on ourselves, that it's like it's hard to, like, help another person sometimes. It's hard, like, we don't have a cup to pour into someone else's glass, you know. But even despite that, we might struggle. We might find ourselves needing to come back and work on ourselves, and that might mean having to, you know, pull away, so to speak, from others. But that doesn't mean that in your heart, it doesn't mean that there can't still be love, unity, connection. You know what I mean? And I think it's been easy for us in our desperate attempt to heal ourselves that we've gotten kind of carried away and fell into darkness in the process. And we've allowed ourselves to kind of become selfish in a lot of ways, or just like disconnected, not in unity but in separation, inner chaos as opposed to inner riches. And we've kind of just gotten stuck like that. And when habits build up, when things keep going on and on and on a certain way, whether for good or bad, we make those habits stronger with each, you know, cumulative effect over time. And we've just been continuing to plummet into darkness, trying to heal ourselves, but we're losing our way, losing the light, especially when these sick people who are in their egos, who, like, they just, that's what they have like embraced because they weren't strong enough, right? And so now they're attacking us and trying to bring us in with them, which is like a demon, like going back to, like, if we were to look at it biblically, it's like a demon. That's like what you could call like a demon, or even a person possessed, is like that they're trying to pull us into their darkness, their hell, right? Because they fell into hell, into darkness. And so what does a demon do? What does someone possessed do who, like, has been hooked by Satan and who has lost their way? They find all the little tricks to make us turn on our light, and in these different little ways to then plummet into darkness ourselves. Oh, don't worry about that person. Focus on yourself. Da 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 da. Then there's the manipulation, the lighting, and so on and so forth. And we need to realize that just like we need to put priorities, important things first, right? The inner riches, ourselves, that comes first, because you can't pour from an empty cup. Love is absolutely a priority. Unity, you know what I mean? Like, forgiveness, the light, guys, the light. Like, how could we forget about the light and putting the light first? Really think about it. Like, this isn't corny, this isn't cliche. They want you to think that because that's how the people in darkness, they once you're like, oh yeah, that's corny, da da da, that now they have the means of pushing you further into darkness, because now you're like out of fear and embarrassment, you're like rejecting the light. Oh, that's corny, nah. But no, it's not. The light, that's the least corny thing in the world. And that's what these people in darkness are afraid of, by the way. And that's what they don't have. And so they're going to do everything in their power to suck us in the darkness, to make us like reject the light, to be embarrassed about the light, to be like, oh no, and this, that, and the third about it. But no, the light, that is the ultimate thing. Love, unity, inner riches, like yourself, love yourself, but like in a healthy way, and love everyone else equally as well. And people, they gonna hurt you, forgive them, bro. Just forgive them. Not even like because you're condoning their behavior, not because you're condoning their behavior or whatever, but just because to free your heart from holding on to this malice, right? Let go of that malice in your heart, because all it's doing is it's corrupting your own heart and your own nervous system, and just, you know what I mean, your own inner riches. That's not the way to light. That's the way to darkness, when you allow darkness to consume your heart. And not being able to give, holding on to resentment, separation, doing things only for yourself, saying fuck love, excuse my language, saying like, oh, forget about that person, like I'm not gonna care about them because this, that, and third. I mean, I'm not saying, oh, la-di-da, like be like a fairy, but you're gonna get mad and be like, F that person, but like deep in your heart though, forgive though, because forgiveness, that's the absence of that malice in your heart. That's the where the inner riches open up. That's where heaven lies. That's what Jesus taught. And these fake Christians, man, this is what they've lost sight of. This is what they've lost sight of. And we can't lose sight of that. If we lose sight of that, then we become like them. And then we have a world where everyone has plummeted into darkness. And when everyone plummets into darkness, people like Trump become the president. And well, do I need to say more? Now we're ruled by darkness. And now darkness perseveres. No. Come back to the light. This video is an invitation to America and to the world. But as you know, even though Trump says the right things, like America first, but he doesn't always teach them. He doesn't always practice them the right way, right? But he is right about certain things, but it's just that he doesn't do it himself. Like he says America first, but he puts America last. He says fix the economy, make the economy good, but then he ruins the economy, makes it bad. Trump says no more wars, turns around and starts a war. No. He might say the right things, but he doesn't do the right things. And what he's right about, even if he doesn't practice it himself, America first is important too. But it's important not to ignore other countries, to be like, oh, screw this person, screw that person, not to say F immigrants and so on and so forth. No. It's just because when we can take care of ourselves, How are we going to pour from an empty cup if we can't take care of ourselves? We, as Americans, we have to ground ourselves, come back to the light ourselves. And when we come back to the light, when we fill our cup back up, now we're grounded, now we're stable, and now we have the means of helping other people properly. And so that's, to me, that's what America first really means. You know? That's really what America first means. And it goes right back to that principle of the inner riches. It goes right back to the principle of self-love, unity. That what Christians revere in Jesus. We have to come back to ourselves, God, the God within, the inner riches, the light within, or if you don't believe in God, the universe within. And when unity, and when we come back to a sense of unity, light, that's when we can share that unity and light with the world. We can have a cup that we can share with others, and we can finally have the means of uniting peacefully, like Jesus said, in love and forgiveness. I guess that's all I want to say. We're battling demons right now. And as one way you can say it. How I like to say it is just, we're battling darkness. We're battling ego. We're battling the absence of light. And we have to come back to the light if we want to succeed and triumph over and overcome that darkness, not only in others, these sick people who aim to harm us in various ways, do price gouging, corrupt billionaires, kicking people on the bottom, not allowing the everyday person to afford a damn house. Why we deserve to just live, right, comfortably. I want a house. I'm 33 years old and I don't own a house. I deserve to own a house. Why can't I own a house? We deserve to have proper paying jobs that can actually get us houses we can afford and all this stuff, right? Health, being able to have the healthcare and so on and so forth. And these people in darkness, now it's not just them that we have to overcome though, right? By understanding what I'm saying, the light, that they're what they're in, the darkness and ego, we have to look at that, know how to tackle it, how to overcome it, to protect ourselves from it. And we have to know not to let that get into us and for us to become that, right? And then that's what brings me to the second thing. We have to make sure that we're not falling in the darkness as well. We're not falling in the ego. Because how are we going to overcome someone in darkness when we're in darkness ourselves? It's like a person with nothing in their cup coming after another person with nothing in their cup. It's just two people with nothing, with diminished resources, and it's like two drunks almost fighting each other. Or another way to put it is two people in a pit, in a dark pit, just kind of smacking each other at that point, for lack of better analogies. I don't want to make this video too long, but you get my point. We have to, how are we gonna overcome the darkness in the world and others? How are we gonna triumph over these people? The corrupt Trump administration, Pam Bondi, like these people, like trying to withhold justice for the Epstein victims, these women who were raped, children who were harmed. How are we going to overcome these people when we can't even overcome ourselves? When we can't even overcome our own darkness? How are we going to overcome their darkness when we've got this darkness in ourselves? And I guess that's just what I wanted to share. As I've been figuring out the cause to my suffering and overcoming it, I want to help figure out the cause to my people's suffering and to help you guys overcome your suffering. Because that's what I came here for. In the end, because I'm putting myself first and I'm doing what I need to do to connect with the light, I have the means of doing that. Here I am doing it. I want to show you guys, leading as an example. If I can do it, you can do it. I'm doing it. And I want us all to do it so that we can live in unity and respect with one another. And so we can all share our inner riches and unity and peace and justice for all. Kaiser, Yusuf Hussein, one love. One love. Come back to the light. That ego, be very careful with it. And don't get cocky. Do not get cocky. Because that's ego. We may have won the civil rights movement and you know, like we may have created the Civil Rights Act, but the fighting never stops. We can't just get cocky, we won, da 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 da, and then let our guard down, because that's how people in darkness take advantage of that. They take advantage of our cockiness, our, you know, gaudiness, and they say, ha ha ha, you've lost sight of the light. And then when you lose sight of light, you let go of the light. Just come into darkness. Ego. Once you start dipping into darkness, people in darkness, they have more of a grasp on you. I said it before. The one thing that these people are afraid of is the light. Because the light, that's the ultimate source of power. Stand firm in your light. Never succumb to darkness so much as you can help it. And as you do, these people in darkness won't stand a chance. And they'll be petrified, whether they show it or not. That's how we beat them. By standing firm in the light. In connection and unity and love and forgiveness. And our inner riches. Embodying ourselves, embracing ourselves, living our truest inner purpose, and then having the means of extending that to all else, and then being able to also fulfill our external purpose, outer purpose, from within. Come back to the light. I'm telling you guys, we gotta come back to the light. That ego. Really start to look at it and yourselves and others and see the dangers and succumbing to it. This is the beginning of how we're gonna come back. But this time, we need a system to conquer the ego. And developing that system and solidifying it. This is how we stay on top. Never again allowing the darkness to conquer us. This is the future. This is the future I foresee. A future where we can finally embrace the light and stay that way. But we have to make the decision to. We have to be aware of the problem of these things, of the ego, of light, of darkness, of love, of sick people who have plummeted in darkness and ego, their little tactics and their little games and their little means of distracting and constantly diverting and like shaking us back out of the light and back into the darkness, and finally ratcheting ourselves into that light for good. This is the future. And also, I believe, the start of a new golden age. Come back to the light. Really start to look at that ego. Face it. And overcome it through love and unity. And light.